So this is my father's bicycle frame. Yeah, I got a lot of work to do. So I got all these parts from Nova Frame Builder Source, which is in California somewhere. I'm going to start building sub-assemblies. So I'm going to grind off some of the extra metal on my dropout here so that it fits in the chain state better. So we got everything put together more or less by eyeball. And notice everything's fluxed. You need to use plenty of flux. You can never use too much flux. Flex lets you know kind of what the temperature of the metal is when you're brazing, and it also stops the buildup of oxides that will give you a poor joint. So for silver brazing, MAP gas and air, as opposed to MAP and oxygen or acetylene and oxygen, is adequate because the temperature at which the silver alloy melts is pretty low. Not quite hot enough yet. We're getting there though. Yep, look at that. It's starting to flow. These are part of the dropouts, and I'm brazing them to the seat stays. The dropouts are adjustable, so they actually come in two pieces. So our second subassembly is the head tube and the down tube and the corresponding lug. Notice that I had to Dremel out the lug, grind it down so these parts would fit. It's actually kind of rough, which isn't bad. It'll give little grooves for the silver to stick to. Can never use too much flux. I pity the fool who doesn't use enough flux. You may notice that part of the flux is turning green. That's pulling away some of the oxides away from our joint, which is exactly what it's supposed to do. Not hot enough. Alright, so you want to pull it through the bottom here. Add a little more silver. So I got a little bit of rust on this sub-assembly from when I rinsed it in water to get the flux off. Oh, look how clean it is now. Oh, incredible. Do that all the way around. So we make a rough cut with a Dremel tool with a cutting. I use a reinforced cutting wheel. Okay, so I used sandpaper and steel wool to remove most of the dirt. Paint and ink off both pieces. I'm going to braze here. I'm going to go ahead and flux them, and then we'll get the sub-assembly started. Okay, everything's fluxed. Now, a lot of places where a frequent place where frames fail is right between the stays right here, where the seat tube comes in. So we're going to start there. You got to get it nice and hot and get good penetration of your silver. Braze now. We're getting good penetration. Add a little more silver right here. Well, we got our two sub-assemblies brazed together. Now it's time to put them together, which would make us nearly done with our front triangle. So you may have noticed I haven't been using a jig because I don't have one. And for the hobbyist, you really don't need one. What you can do to make sure everything's aligned is simply get a angle finder like such. Alright, you got a measurement here. And we're off a bit, so we need to rotate that a bit up. There we go. So that's where we need to be. Okay, so let's braze these two sub-assemblies together. There we go. The basis of our front triangle is brazed together. Let's eyeball this. See if it's not too far off. Ah, excellent. Excellent.